Okay. Hey, I'm trying to get crunk. Tell them how we gonna go. Tell them why they don't go. Tell them why they better run.
What up? Episode number
2. What's going on, Facebook Live family of the Red and Rev Show? We're ready to come back this week with another great show. We got some great topics that we're going to touch upon on today. We're going to talk about these Atlanta Falcons, Super Bowl bound Atlanta Falcons, NFC South champions Atlanta Falcons, NFC champions Atlanta Falcons. Also, we're going to talk about the New England Patriots. We're going to even talk about who do we think is more valuable to the New England Patriots, Tom Brady or Bill Belichick. Also, we're going to talk a little B-ball. We're going to talk about Melo. We're going to talk about LeBron James. If we have a little time, we're also going to talk about the Chicago Bulls. And even we're going to even do a little biopic talk with the movie New Edition, just to add a little extra flavor to the show. And if also, I forgot one important topic. We're also going to talk and compare, and I know we may have some flack for this, but we're going to compare who's the best wide receiver in the league right now. We're just going to narrow the pool down to 2 people. Our homeboy from the ATL, Julio Jones or Antonio Brown. So fasten your seatbelts. We're getting ready to have a wonderful, wonderful show. So now, I can't continue to go on with the show without giving my boy, my co-host, my road dog, Red, his props on his prediction on last week. Many of y'all saw the show. Some of you all saw the repost of his prediction. My boy Red.
That's right.
He said, and he predicted, that the Atlanta Falcons would blow out the Green Bay Packers.
Blow them out.
Blow them out. He predicted,
get out of our dome,
41-20. And the Atlanta Falcons wound up beating them 44-20.
44-20.
So here it is. I got to give Red the floor right now. Let him gloat in his prediction, because I predicted that the Falcons would win, but I didn't have nearly as enough confidence in the Atlanta Falcons that they would win by 3 touchdowns. So Red, it's showtime for you, bro.
Oh boy, it feels so doggone good to sit here being an NFC champs this morning. Not this morning, this afternoon. It's Saturday afternoon. 1 week to go before our Super Bowl dreams are coming to fruition. And remember, I said Super Bowl dreams now, meaning I don't expect a nightmare in Houston next week.
All right.
Now, but let's go back to this Green Bay game a little bit. Let's rewind a little bit. All last week, all I heard from every NFL pundit and all the announcers, even a few Falcons fans, oh, this game is going to be a close one. Oh, it's going to come down to the end. Oh, we're going to win by 3. Oh, we'll squeak out a field goal victory.
You're stepping on my toes now.
Somebody close to me even said, but no, it wasn't just you, Mike. It was a lot of folks were saying we was going to win by a field goal victory. It wasn't not just you. I wouldn't even do you like that. I'm mostly getting on the other folks out there who was talking about how close the game was going to be when me and a few other people told you guys this game was not going to even be close. Number one, how is it going to be close with Green Bay's defense? They can't stop a cold. They haven't stopped anybody all year long. I told you number 36 looked like me checking Kelly Campbell at Mays High, doggone. I mean, did you not see the guy? I wish we can bring up the Julio touchdown again with him falling all off his back, and then some other guy tried to stop him. Julio just got that clown out the way with a stiff arm. I mean,
Julio looked like Bo Jackson on the old
pretty much. I mean, it looked like Bo Jackson and Brian Bosworth style trouble. We made number 36 look like Brian Bosworth out there. But anyway, my Falcons put up almost 500 of yards of offense on that whack Green Bay defense, and somebody was talking about Ha Dicks, not my co-host, but other guys who are Ha Dicks fans. Y'all know my nickname for him is inappropriate to say, but you know my nickname for
Thank you for
Ha
sparing us.
Dicks. Okay, not worried about him at all. I had no worry about him. Matter of fact, did I even hear his name in a game last Sunday? Did I? Did
Nah,
you hear
he had one little hit on Julio on the sideline. That was about the only play he made.
Oh, okay. One hit on the sideline.
One little hit on Julio.
How many yards did Julio go for again?
Yeah.
9 for 180 yards. Get him out of here. Green Bay, I respect your quarterback, but your running game need work, your defense need work, and your coaching staff need work too. Y'all were not ready for us. Y'all were not ready for what did that coach say? A buzzsaw. You weren't ready for this buzzsaw. Not in Atlanta, baby. Not with that crowd we had at the Dome. Defend the Dome.
Defend the Dome, baby.
Which we did. Green Bay, we'll see you next year. 44-21. Matt Ryan, 392 yards, 4 touchdowns, a perfect passer rating. I am just so proud of my Falcons the way they rised up last week in Atlanta in front of the home crowd.
Yeah.
We did that. We rose up, and now we're the NFC champs and got a whole week to get ready for this Super Bowl, baby. This is what we deserve. This is what we earned. Go Falcons.
Go Falcons. Red, great job explaining your position. You are the man. You are the real MVP from last week's show. So now with you.
Just for last week, each week is different. You got to keep it up. Boy. Now, I may make a prediction next week and may come back looking foolish, but you know what? We just going to keep them coming, baby.
We're going to keep them coming because, hey, we know a lot of folk who make bad predictions. They still making hundreds of thousands of dollars, aren't they?
Yeah, somebody even employed on the NFL Network named Heath Evans, who predicted my Falcons to go 5-11 and still employed with the NFL Network. Hey, NFL Network, man, don't you have an internship, man? I'm available. Come on, man. Mike available. Why you still employing guys like that making whack predictions? I mean, he didn't even come close. He said we was going to be 5-11. I think we reversed that.
Yeah, 11-5.
So he was 6 games wrong.
6 games wrong in the wrong direction. But with that being said, Ray, I got a little gripe to carve out right now. I've been watching sports talk shows all week long. I'm an avid watcher of First Take. I'm an avid watcher of Undisputed, all those little different shows. Even I also saw the other day that NBC show, morning show. And
they hating on us too?
Man, I'm just tired because the Falcons are getting the Rodney Dangerfield treatment. They are getting no respect. They were told that they weren't going to beat the Seahawks. Then they come back, blast the Seahawks 36-20. And then all of a sudden, after the game, the Seahawks were in disarray. They're no longer the Legion of Boom.
Always an excuse.
Always an excuse. And then they didn't have Earl Thomas. Then we come back the next week. Mm-hmm. We beat Green Bay. We were told we were going to lose against Green Bay.
Exactly.
Right? And we just know we could not stop Aaron Rodgers because he was on a 10. And don't get me wrong, Aaron Rodgers is a bad man. But the Falcons put the hat to the bad man last week. I know he had a reservation with the training room, with the spa, with the ice bowl last week off that licking that the Atlanta Falcons defense, those rookie defenders, put on that bad man. That cornerback blitz. I felt the hit. And I was watching it on television. Oh, my goodness.
And my boy Rasheed Hageman, I got to say, did he step up?
He stepped up last week. So then we were supposed to lose against Green Bay. We blast Green Bay. Blast them. Then all of a sudden, they weren't healthy, but nobody talked about Green Bay's health. The previous week, when they went into Jerry World in Dallas and beat the Dallas Cowboys, but all of a sudden, when my boys put the hat to Green Bay, where Aaron Rodgers couldn't hope for that game to end soon enough, all of a sudden, the Green Bay Packers are hurt.
He didn't even finish the game, did he?
No, the game was over. He said, let me go to the showers early.
They put in the backup quarterback.
Yeah, they put in the backup. So now, we talk Green Bay. We were not the favorites. We were supposed to lose.
What about our injuries, the Falcons?
Oh, they don't even talk about how we don't even have our best cornerback, Trufant. Also, our best tight end and our second best defensive end, Claiborne. is hurt, but we don't hear no talk about that.
Nothing.
But
Not a word.
that's still not stopping us from going to Houston.
Nope.
That didn't stop the pep rally at City Hall last week with Mayor Kasim Reed. So even
And
though
they ain't gonna stop the one on tomorrow.
and they're going to stop the one on tomorrow at Atlantic Station, right?
Rise up.
Rise up, baby. Here we go. So here it is. Now, another game, another week of hate. Guess what I do? I hear Skip Bayless on Undisputed already crowning the New England Patriots champions. Then he's already talking about how awkward it's going to be for Roger Goodell to present Tom Brady with a trophy because he upheld his suspension and Tom Brady's suspension about the Deflategate, and the courts upheld it, and how it's going to be so awkward for him to present.
Upheld it.
Yeah, rightfully. And he's going to be all be awkward and trying to give the trophy to Tom Brady. Then, as I was watching, I was on Facebook earlier today, I came across my boy, who I used to watch with his brother, the Two Live Stews.
Oh, man.
Oh, we missed that show. They need to get back on the air.
But we can have them on our show. We can link up.
We can link up. That sounds good to me. But Doug Stewart was on Facebook talking about a tweet that this dude from the Boston Globe named Dan Shaughnessy of the Boston Globe said about our Atlanta Falcons, just straight disrespecting our Atlanta Falcons. This is what this fool said, and I'm going to call him a fool. He said, it's hard to get pumped up about a Super Bowl against Atlanta.
What?
He had the audacity to say it's hard to get up for the Atlanta Falcons.
You got to show this clown face.
Matt, show his face.
Yeah.
Hold on, wrong. This is his face right here, of the Boston Globe right here. All right, so Google him. This clown
guy look like he has any idea about what go on down south. This little, I'm trying to be appropriate again, but this little weirdo looking Massachusetts marauder trying to talk stuff about, like he knows what goes on in Atlanta. He talking about he came out here for a Hawks Celtics game last year and wanted to talk about how the Atlanta public wasn't, I guess, supportive enough for him, even though everybody I know was talking Hawks and Celtics. So, sir, if you don't live in Atlanta, please don't speak in Atlanta.
Exactly.
Of course, you're spoiled with your Boston championships and all of those East teams, Northeast teams are spoiled. The New York guys, the Boston guys, we know about all your championships up there. But don't hate on this. We're trying to be excellent down here. We're trying to win our own championships. We don't need haters and folks who are not informed to start talking mess about our city because what you experienced on 2 or 3 days in town last year during a Hawks and Celtics series. You have absolutely no idea what Falcon Fever is about. If you did know, you would keep your mouth shut.
And if he did know, he would realize there's a new sheriff in town, in Atlanta, and his name is Dan Quinn. Exactly. Do not compare our team to the Jim Mora years. Don't compare our team to the Mike Smith years. This is a new era in Falcons football. And now, Red, let me just break this thing down just to show you how silly this Star Trek wannabe.
Perfect. Star Trek. That's exactly what he looked like. Some dude from Star Trek.
Some dude from Star Trek trying to talk about our Atlanta Falcons.
Break it down.
Let me break it down. I can make an argument that the Atlanta Falcons will be the toughest team that the New England Patriots will face in 2016.
Ain't played nobody yet.
They ain't played absolutely nobody. Listen to the quarterbacks alone that the New England Patriots have gone against and see if they face anybody like Matt Ryan, who will be this year's MVP. First game of the season, Carson Palmer. Second game of the season against the Dolphins, Ryan Tannehill.
Oh my God, boy! I know that was a guaranteed win right there.
It gets even gooder. I know that ain't a word, but it gets gooder. Here it is: the Houston Texans, Brock Osweiler.
You said Houston, Texas. I already knew. No matter who you said, it was gonna be whack.
now look. Also, they played and I'm a fan of black quarterbacks, but I don't think Tyrod Taylor is tearing up anybody's NFL.
Not unless he's playing a garbage defense.
Exactly. Then you got the Cleveland Browns.
The Patriots.
Charlie Whitehurst.
The Cleveland Browns should be prevented to be on the Patriots schedule forever. Forever, okay? They should never have to play the Cleveland Browns.
Now look at here. Andy Dalton was about one of the best quarterbacks that New England faced this year. Then the first time they played the Steelers, guess who was the starting quarterback?
Oh, my God. I know who you about to say.
Our boy, Landry Jones.
Laundry Jones. Lord have mercy. Wow, Tom, you really faced some real competition this year.
Now, here's the best quarterback he's faced this year, besides Big Ben in the playoffs.
Okay.
He faced Russell Wilson, and they lost to the Seattle Seahawks 31-24. Let me go a little quicker. Then they played Colin Kaepernick's 49ers. Then they played the Jets, Ryan Fitzpatrick twice. Then they played Jared Goff of the Los Angeles Rams. Then the second best quarterback that they faced was Joe Flacco. Joe Flacco. Then they faced not Peyton Manning, not John Elway, but they faced Trevor Siemian. Who? Trevor Siemian. And then to end the season,
is that a phone company?
I thought it was Siemian for a minute. But going forward, then to end the season, they played the Dolphins the second time, and Matt Moore was the starting quarterback. Then they come back in the playoffs and play Brock Osweiler again, and then they face Big Ben. Don't tell me that New England got this great advantage over the Falcons when they ain't played nobody the whole season. They went 3-1 without Brady. Without Brady. That shows you how soft their schedule was, right? And then I heard Stephen A. Stephen A. had a little dose of that hateration juice as well.
That's the way you drink.
He wanted to talk about how the Falcons, toward the end of the season, didn't play anybody. Well, last time I checked, we got 4 common opponents that both the Patriots and the Falcons have played. They both played, here are the common opponents, the NFC West. The Patriots beat the Cardinals 23-21, granted without Tom Brady.
The Cardinals 23-21.
The Falcons beat the Cardinals 38-19. Patriots, Seahawks. Patriots lost to the Seahawks 31-24. We got robbed in Seattle when they didn't call that pass interference, but we let that go, and we only lost in Seattle 26-24, and then you already know what happened 2 weeks ago, how we had our revenge, and we beat the brakes off the Seahawks 36-20.
The brakes.
Then,
thank you, Future. Thank you, Bow Wow, for showing up.
Yeah, they did a great job on the sidelines. They were our 12th and 13th man.
Exactly. Russell Wilson didn't know
didn't know what happened. Here we go.
Thanks, Future, for sending Russell Wilson's son a Falcon jersey. We really appreciate that. We're going to make sure that boy's a Falcon fan. Who would want to be a Seahawks fan after witnessing that?
Now, going back to 2 more common opponents.
Okay.
Patriots, Rams. Patriots beat the sorry Rams 26-10.
Okay. Ooh.
But we go up to Los Angeles in that Coliseum that's about to fall at any moment. They need to renovate that thing real quickly.
I saw XFL games there when I lived.
Yeah. we beat the Rams 42-14.
Woo. Blew them out.
42-14. Then we play the Patriots and 49ers. I'm sorry, the Patriots played the 49ers 30-17. Mm-hmm. We beat the 49ers 41-13. So please help me understand how the Patriots have this advantage over the Falcons. The only thing that the Patriots have is legacy, Super Bowls,
Experience.
Belichick and Brady. That's a lot, but that doesn't make them a better team on paper against our Falcons. Because last time I checked, we got a way more explosive offense than any team that the Patriots have faced this year. If you think the Patriots are going to hold us to 15 points, you must be smoking. Somebody needs to give you a drug test expeditiously, like Joe Clark would say, right? You got to realize Brady is a beast, no doubt about it. But Brady hadn't seen this kind of speed that the Atlanta Falcons defense got.
He can't.
As
top 10 offense of all time.
Ask Aaron Rodgers what that defense would do. See, statistically, the Falcons defense is not going to scare nobody. I'm going to be honest with you. But what people can't account for is stuff that you don't see on paper. And that's how physical they are. They bring the pain. So this is why you might see folk catch the ball in the first, second quarter like Jordy Nelson did.
Yeah.
But then as the game went on, after he was getting that hat put on him, after those licks were coming, after Canoe and all those other cats started putting that wood on them, laying the wood, Deion Jones, Campbell, and all them, then that's when you start seeing players start having butterfingers and so forth and so on, because they don't want that hit.
And,
they don't want that hat to put on.
What's the receiver from that? Doug Baldwin had butterfingers too.
Oh yeah, man. Once you get hit, you start thinking about the consequences.
And I got to give my boy Ricardo Allen some love too. You've been stepping up lately in that free safety spot. We had a conversation last week about Eric Berry. I'm telling you, man, you about one more good game away from me just forgetting about Eric Berry altogether. But I need you next week now.
We need you to rise up.
I need you to rise up next week. You take care of that defensive backfield next week for me, and don't let Brady. I promise you, I won't say Eric Berry's name again. I'll say let's go spend that money somewhere else. But I need you next week, Ricardo Allen. I really appreciate how you've been stepping up. 2 years ago when Mike Smith drafted you, I thought you were just another bust again. What was it? 5th or 6th round draft pick as a cornerback, and Dan Quinn has showed me that he can coach him up. Because look, you are still part of this team, still rising up, part of the defense. They got us back in the Super Bowl. Give me one more good game, Ricardo Allen. I won't ever say Eric Berry again.
One more. All right. Now, I think I made a case that the Falcons are probably the best team that the New England Patriots will face this year.
No, they are the best team. No doubt about it. No doubt about it.
Man, I'm gonna push the envelope, Red.
Push it.
I'm willing to go on a limb and say, in the Tom Brady, Bill Belichick era, that the Atlanta Falcons arguably will be the best team that the New England Patriots would have faced in the Super Bowl.
Okay, well, let's take a look at that.
I'm willing to go on record to say that.
All right.
Now the first Super Bowl that the Patriots won in the Bill Belichick, Tom Brady era was Super Bowl 36. They beat the greatest show on turf.
Oof.
They beat the Rams.
I remember that one.
In the Georgia Dome.
I definitely remember.
No, it wasn't in the Georgia
Dome. No, that was the first one.
I was thinking Tennessee Titans and Rams. Okay. My fault. But they beat the Patriots. The Patriots beat the Rams 20-17 on that team. No slouches on offense. They had Kurt Warner, Marshall Faulk,
Hall of Fame,
Torrey Holt, Isaac Bruce, Azura King. But I think my Falcons measure up to the greatest show on turf, and the stats show that they do, because the Falcons are one of the most explosive offenses, not just in 2016, but in NFL history.
Number 7.
Now,
all time.
Kurt Warner, Hall of Fame.
Hopefully this season.
yeah, that's true. And Matt Ryan making his way toward that Hall of Fame.
You win next week, Matty, and I'm for real. I just may go ahead and put you in there myself right now.
He got the stats.
Yeah, he got the numbers. You got to have some hardware.
Our dynamic duo with Freeman and Coleman, they go along with Marshall Faulk. Now, individually, they can't tie Marshall Faulk's shoes.
No way.
But together, they are comparable to the great Hall of Famer Marshall Faulk.
Definitely comparable.
Holt, Bruce, primetime receivers. But neither one of them are that bad man called Julio Quintarius Jones.
None of them.
Ain't none of them Julio Jones.
And I love me some Isaac Bruce, and I love me some Torrey Holt, but Julio all day over.
All day over. So that's why I say this is really the only team that probably is comparable to the Falcons, because they had a decent defense with London Fletcher, Adam Archuleta. You know, we might give them a slight little lead over the Atlanta Falcons defense. They weren't really that explosive because their offense did most of the work, but they were a solid team. But after the Rams, let's look at the teams that the Patriots have played in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, let's look at the next one. I can't wait to talk about
Super Bowl 38. They beat the Carolina Panthers 32-29. Now that's not Cam Newton at quarterback. Jake Delhomme.
Who and where is this guy headed to?
Jake Delhomme.
You talk about it. Somebody need to put out an APB on this guy. This guy has completely disappeared off the face of the earth.
They had Jake Delhomme, Steven Davis, Steve Smith will be a Hall of Famer.
Yes,
He'll be a Hall of Famer, but he ain't Julio. And then they have Muhammad. I'm not even gonna go any further. The Falcons are a much better team than the Carolina Panthers team that they beat that year. Then we're gonna go to Super Bowl 39. Patriots went back-to-back. Much props to the Patriots. They beat the Philadelphia Eagles 24-21. Now, the Eagles on paper, good team. Donovan McNabb, solid quarterback, but I'll give the edge to Matt Ryan over Donovan McNabb.
Yeah, I would too.
Then Brian Westbrook, solid running back, but I'll give the edge to our dynamic duo, Freeman and Coleman, over Westbrook. Then T.O. versus Julio Jones. T.O. was a bad boy.
He was.
But I don't think he was a game changer like Julio Jones.
Not in the big games.
Not in the big games. Julio. Well, T.O.
no.
T.O. was a bad boy in that Super Bowl.
Exactly.
He came off an injury. He was big time.
That Super Bowl, you showed out.
Yeah, he was big time. He was big time. But then when he started going to Dallas and started crying, that's my quarterback.
No, he didn't have
That's when he lost his luster.
That Super Bowl was the last big playoff.
Oh yeah, he was big time all the while in Philadelphia. But I still want Julio over T.O. because if anything, you want to start talking about how the stats wash, I'll take less drama any day over more drama because we ain't got time for reality TV show. All right, so I'm gonna go with my Falcons over the Eagles. Then Super Bowl 42. The Giants beat the Patriots 17-14. Now, the Giants were known for their defense. Their offense nowhere near stacks up to the Atlanta Falcons. I don't think anybody running with Eli Manning, Brandon Jacobs, Plexico Burris, and Amani Toomer over the Falcons offense. Now, that defense, I'll take that D over our D any day with Michael Strahan, O.C. Anura, and Pierce.
You give us that D line.
Yeah. I can't say defensively. We don't stack up. But when you put our offense and defense together compared to the Giants' offense and defense of that Super Bowl year, I'm going with the Falcons.
Oh, yeah, I'm going with the Falcons.
I'm going with the Falcons because we got our offense is way more explosive.
And the Giants really only won by that one huge play by David Tyree. That is one of the greatest plays in Super Bowl history. And that led to them going down the field for the winning touchdown. That play don't happen, Tom Brady got his 4th Super Bowl ring that day.
Right. And then Super Bowl 46, Giants, Patriots again. I guess the Giants have always been the Patriots' kryptonite in the Super Bowl. That's the year when they went undefeated. Yeah, that's right. So far, add our Falcons to the kryptonite for the Patriots. But that was the year that the Patriots went undefeated for the regular season.
No. It was the year that David Tyree made the catch.
No. This year, the second time, that's when the Giants beat them 21-17 when the Patriots had Randy Moss.
That was the undefeated year.
That's the undefeated year. So the Giants had Manning, Ahmad Bradshaw, Mr. Salsa Dancer himself, Victor Cruz, and Hakeem Nicks.
Okay, they had a
good offense. That offense really is better than the offense that they won in Super Bowl 42. That they had in Super Bowl 42.
Yeah, I really agree.
But that still ain't better than our Falcons offense.
Not as explosive.
Not as explosive.
Not speed.
Solid, but not explosive.
Mm-hmm.
And then we got on defense, Tuck, Pierre-Paul. Those were some beasts on the edge. And they had I would say they had a better defense than my Falcons did. Than my Falcons do this year. Yeah. Then the last Super Bowl 49. And I'm talking about a lot of Patriots Super Bowl. So they've been balling. They've been balling. We got to give them their credit over the years. Super Bowl 49. Patriots 28. Seahawks 24. They should have lost that Super Bowl. They should have given the ball on the 1 yard line to Mr. Skittles himself, beast mode, Marshawn Lynch. That was arguably the worst play call ever. And they made Malcolm Butler think he's some great cornerback where he's about to mess up and run his mouth too much and get abused by Julio in the Super Bowl. You better, like The Rock would say, know your role, Malcolm Butler.
And Julio Jones ain't no Tyler Lockett, dog.
Ain't no Tyler Lockett, ain't no Doug Baldwin. That
no
is
Ricardo
a grown
Lockett
man.
either. That got a lot of receivers named Lockett on the team.
Hey, CC, Malcolm Butler, CC Patrick Peterson of the Arizona Cardinals. And he'll tell you what happened to him. CC Josh Norman, who was with the Carolina Panthers and now with the Washington Redskins, what Julio did to him.
And that's Beneguer, who got released by Carolina. What happened to him? Ask him why he is a free agent on the market this year.
Oh, yeah, from Carolina?
Yeah.
His coach didn't like him too much. Because there is no way he should have had him go one-on-one with Julio, and Julio lit him up for 300 yards. He must have wanted him off the team.
And now, as a matter of fact, I'm glad I brought his name up. Why exactly did the Packers sign him to the practice squad last week? Exactly what knowledge was he going to give you about how to stop Julio? I'll tell you what knowledge he did. It looked like he gave some knowledge of how to get beat by Julio, because number 36 and number 25 definitely played like Beneguer in that first game against Carolina. So thank you, Green Bay. I guess that was your strategy or something, because it worked.
Well, I think I made a decent argument to let you all know how the Atlanta Falcons are arguably, I didn't say they are, but arguably the best team that the Patriots would have faced in the Super Bowl. What you think, Ray?
Oh, I think after next week, it's going to be no doubt about it.
No doubt about it.
We are going to be the best team they face. Win or lose, we will have been the best team they faced in the Super Bowl era. So bring it on, baby, because we ready. And we ain't scared. Rise up.
Rise up. And we'll make our predictions, Super Bowl predictions, go position by position next week. So tune in to the Red and Rev show next week, and we will break down the games, go position by position, and see who we give the edge to at each position. Now we're gonna move forward, and even though we've been defending our Falcons, we are going to be a fair show. We just talked about how many Super Bowls the Patriots went to, so we cannot discredit their legacy, even though their legacy should not put them ahead of the Falcons this year when you start talking about who's the favorite. But nevertheless, they're favorite right now to win by 3. But here we are, we're going to have a little conversation. Who is more valuable to the New England Patriots? We know that they have done an awesome job. They have basically run the NFL for the past decade.
I hate to say it.
I mean, it is what it is.
Definitely ran the
is
AFC East. They might well just take them other 3 teams out of the division.
Yeah, they just might say who's going to play for the wild card out of these 3. Because the NFC East is already locked up every season.
Including next year.
So now here's the discussion, Red. Who would you say is more valuable to the New England Patriots? Is it Tom Brady or Bill Belichick?
Well, Mike, you know, I'm a players type guy, so I'm always probably going to give it to the player. And, you know, I don't believe any NFL team can win without a quarterback. You have to have a quarterback to win in this league. Most teams that's not winning in this league, look at them. What's the one position where they're soft at, where they're not getting any production at? it's probably the quarterback position. Most teams. So between Belichick and Brady, and I think I know an argument you're gonna kill me with, even though I'm still I know the argument you're gonna use against me, but I still gonna say I'll take Tom Brady. If I had to choose between one, if you force me and say who I want to keep, Belichick or Brady, I'm gonna keep the quarterback because I know we're gonna continue every season. Now go ahead, Mike, because I already know what you're gonna say.
All right, let me go on record by first saying they both need each other.
I agree. They both need each other.
They both.
I can't imagine one without
one without the other. You know, that's just like
peanut butter without
peanut butter without jelly, Tom without Jerry,
man without woman,
Ashford without Simpson, so forth and so on. So they are inextricably linked together.
Exactly.
All right, but if we had to choose one against the other, I can't dismiss your argument about every good team needs a quarterback. Now, remember, though, when Tom Brady first came on the scene, quarterbacks weren't as valuable
a lot of
to
good
NFL teams. There are a lot of good defense. And let's remember, quarterbacks that won the Super Bowl.
Okay.
Brad Johnson.
Great defense.
Tampa Bay Buccaneers, great defense, but not a great quarterback.
No, definitely not a great quarterback.
Trent Dilfer.
Another great defense.
Another great defense, but not a great quarterback. So at that time when Brady first came in the league, quarterbacks weren't as highly regarded as they are now. In this NFL, you cannot win big without a great quarterback.
That's a good point, because you're right. It was a lot. Most teams are building up their
Both
defenses.
defenses were more important because it goes with the old cliche, defense wins championships, right? Now,
get tired of it too.
Now here it is.
Offense.
I'm a stat man. Y'all got to forgive me for giving stats, but I like to back up my stuff. I'm a stat man. I like doing my research like I do research when I preach my sermons. All right?
You're the stats man. I'm the facts man.
I like that. So now Bill Belichick did not have a great start. I'm arguing for him, but I'm willing to go on record. He did not have a great start. Did y'all know he used to coach the Cleveland Browns? Woo! He coached the Cleveland Browns for 5 seasons. And in those 5 seasons, he went 36-44. That's not impressive. So that may make somebody say, well, Tom Brady made Bill Belichick. Now, the reason why we can't harp on what he did in the Cleveland Browns, because the Cleveland Browns have been historically terrible. Historically terrible. Since Bill Belichick has left the Cleveland Browns, he left at the end of the 1995 season. From 1996 until 2016, the Cleveland Browns have only had 2 winning seasons in 20 years.
I think I remember those two.
2002, they went 9-7. Yep. 2007, they went 10-6. So seeing that, I can't say that it was Bill Belichick's fault.
No.
Why the Cleveland Browns were not good under his tenure. It's obviously the management that is terrible. So fast forward. So let's not even hold the Cleveland Browns situation against him. First season with the Patriots.
I try not to.
First season with the Patriots. Not a great season though.
Nope. Before
Tom Brady became the quarterback. 5-11. Then next season, he goes 11-5, wins the Super Bowl. Tom Brady becomes the starter, and that year, with the Super Bowl championship that the Patriots won, which they should not have, because the Oakland Raiders were robbed with that little tuck rule in the snow when Tom Brady got sacked and fumbled that ball. But anyway, they were crowned the champions.
By Charles Woodson.
Exactly. And now that started their NFL legacy anyway. Tom Brady starting quarterback 11-3. Now somebody might say, just that alone shows you that Tom Brady is more valuable than Bill Belichick because he didn't win his first Super Bowl until Tom Brady became the champion, became the starting quarterback.
Yeah, you kind of making my argument for me.
But let me break it down, because numbers never lie. And sometimes you got to go underneath the stats to be able to see what really went on.
Got to dig deep.
Now, mind you, remember when Brady became the starting quarterback, they had a fierce defense.
Whew.
They had Malloy.
Lord.
They had Teddy Bruce, whatever his name
Teddy
was.
Brewski.
They had Harrison, Rodney Harrison, and so forth and so on. Now look at Brady's numbers.
Ty Law,
Willie McGinnis. I mean, they were fierce. This is Brady's the stats for his first year as starting quarterback. These stats are not going to make anybody shout too much about Tom Brady when he first became quarterback. Completion rating was hot, 63.9. Can't knock that.
Nope.
But he only threw 18 TDs to 12 interceptions.
Young man, just getting started.
Then he only had 2,843 yards with an average of 203 yards per game. That don't sound like...
This is the Super Bowl year, right?
This Super Bowl year. That don't sound like...
But now, he didn't start every game, correct?
Well, he only didn't start 2 games.
Okay.
So those are still not NFL Pro Bowl numbers.
Yeah, 14 games.
So here they won the Super Bowl that year. They beat the greatest show on turf, as I talked about earlier, 30-27.
Oh, I hated that.
Listen to Brady's numbers in Super Bowl one. The first Super Bowl, rather. 16 for 27 for 145 yards and 1 TD.
Rams is
Does that sound like Tom Brady won that Super Bowl or the system won the Super Bowl?
Defense made plays. They got the ball back after a tie game. He drove them downfield for a field goal. I'll never forget that drive because it made him who he was, made him who he is today. He proved he's a clutch guy. He is clutch.
He's clutch.
When the pressure's on, he can make the throws. He can make the plays. He showed me that day because I honestly thought the game was going to overtime.
Mm-hmm.
They got the ball back. I said, oh, the Rams tied the game. Now we can get this to overtime, and we are going to win. And I've been sitting back. Brady been proving me wrong ever since, man. I hate you, Brady, but you are doggone. You just too good.
Brady made a clutch play. He was more of a game manager then.
Yeah, he was a game manager.
Before being a franchise quarterback.
But he took him on that drive and put the team on his back.
He put the team on his back, and then Brady has been balling ever since. But as someone alluded to in the comments, I believe Brady is more a product of the system.
I need to start reading these comments, y'all. I see y'all talking.
The system rather than being so great. Because arguably, I believe Peyton Manning is greater than Tom Brady because he's gone to 2 teams.
Okay.
Won 2 Super Bowls.
Well, you didn't know the Colts were going to dump him.
And has been MVP with 2 different teams with different coaches.
You can't argue Manning's stats and you can't argue his numbers.
So here's my further argument, and this is where I really stick my chest out right now. Here we go.
I'm glad
when Tom Brady got injured the first game of the season.
I knew it. Didn't I tell y'all?
In 2008, the starting quarterback for the New England Patriots was Matt Whitecastle. Matt Castle. He led the Patriots to a 10-5 record, even though they didn't make the playoffs that year. But any other year, that would be good enough. They finished 11-5. That would be good enough to go to the playoffs.
Matt Castle, who didn't start 1 game at USC, Matt Castle.
Now look how great Matt Castle was with the New England Patriots, but look at his career after life with Bill Belichick.
Yeah, I know.
4 years with the Chiefs, 20-27. 2 years with Minnesota, 4-5. Then in 2015, he was with 2 teams. That means he got cut by 1. He was with Buffalo and Dallas. He went 2-6, and this year he went 1-0 with the Tennessee Titans. Looks like Bill Belichick was the secret to Matt Castle's success. And then let's go to this year.
Okay.
The Patriots went 3-1 without Tom Brady to start the season. Some folk would have thought that Jimmy Garoppolo was playing Tom Brady's football.
Jimmy Garoppolo?
Look at Jimmy Garoppolo. Game 1. Beat the Cardinals. Went 24 for 33, 264 yards, 1 TD. Patriots beat the Cardinals. Game 2. Garoppolo got hurt in the first half. Still put up 18 for 26, 232 yards, 3 TDs, and got hurt in the first half, and the Patriots still beat the Dolphins 31-24. Then they went to the third string quarterback, Jacoby Brissett.
Yeah.
They beat the Houston Texans 27-0. Brissett ain't no pocket passer, not very accurate, but he could run the football. So what does Bill Belichick do? Have them design a game plan to his strengths. He goes 11 for 19, 106 yards, 8 carries for 48 yards, and 1 TD.
Good game.
Bill Belichick has shown he can win without Tom Brady. That's why I put my hat to Bill Belichick over Tom Brady, even though, again, they need each other.
Now let me ask you a question, partner.
All right.
Are we giving Belichick too much credit? And I'm going to ask you that, meaning, is it more offensive coordinator Josh McDaniels? Or is it more Bill Belichick? That probably helps some of these guys out, especially Matt Castle and the other 2 guys, Jacoby Brissett and Jimmy Garoppolo, because Josh McDaniels is a heck of an offensive coordinator. Now, he's probably just as good as Kyle Shanahan. Definitely works well with quarterbacks. So
That's an excellent question. Now, here's the thing, though. Remember, Josh McDaniel left to be a head coach.
I remember to go to Denver.
And New England didn't stop.
No, they didn't stop
Balling,
winning.
didn't they?
But he stopped winning.
He stopped winning. That's when he started. He tried to fool the NFL by getting my Christian friend Tim Tebow, who was working miracles.
Yeah,
doing his football version of turning water into wine, winning football games, right? But
still shocked by
Belichick still won without Josh McDaniel. He's lost a couple of defensive coordinators. Remember, Romeo Carmelo left New England, went to Cleveland to be the head coach, and left Cleveland, and then now to Houston.
Went to KC for a while.
KC,
head coach.
Yeah, that's where he went to KC.
No, he went to Cleveland first.
Cleveland first, and
got
then
fired.
Went to
KC.
KC.
Was their defense coordinator. They fired the head coach, made Romeo the head coach.
And then he went to Houston. But when you move those coordinators, Bill Belichick's still been winning, man.
Yeah.
So that's why I got to give the advantage to Bill Belichick, because I can't honestly say, if you put Tom Brady on another team outside of the New England Patriots, is he still that great?
I honestly believe he would be, honestly, because I just think Brady's a good quarterback. I think he's one of the greatest all time. I know he got a good system, but that man is a winner. Tom Brady is a winner. And I just don't believe, even if you put him on the Cleveland Browns, I say he at least get him 8 wins. I just don't think Brady is going to stick. He is not going to be around a losing situation. You see what I'm saying?
Okay.
If the situation is losing when he gets there, he's going to do what it takes to make it a winning situation. I just don't believe he's that type of player.
Now, the one thing I had to say about Tom Brady.
I don't like him now. I'm not a fan, but the man is a winner. You cannot argue his stats. You cannot argue his clutchness. You cannot argue his offensive acumen. The man is a winner. He gets the job done. I'm not a fan. I don't like him, but he gets the job done, and I got to respect him.
All right. So I give him that. He's a winner. I still don't believe you could just put him on any team and just say go for it, because that's why I think Bill Belichick has been his person who has jump-started his career and has sustained his career. But, we can agree.
Well, I tell you, Brady plays till he said he want to play for another few years. So, and I honestly, now this is going to shock everybody. I don't think Belichick is going to let Brady play with the Patriots for that long. I think Belichick will release Brady shockingly.
Well,
if he sees the end is near, then we may see Brady do it with another team.
I know Bill Belichick is a shrewd dude, and he'll let go of you real quickly. But
I would be shocked, but I can't say I would be that surprised, because he does it to everybody.
But I have a hard time seeing him let go of Brady, because here's the thing that Brady has done that some other NFL quarterbacks need to do, and I even make the argument that I wish Matt Ryan would have done it. But I'm going to get off Matty Ice, because now he's finally playing to the level of his contract. The reason why the Patriots have been so good is because Tom Brady been giving hometown discounts for the past few years.
Oh, yeah.
Tom Brady is not even in the top 5 of the highest NFL quarterbacks being paid.
It ain't about the money with him.
So therefore, and folks say, well, you got that beautiful wife Giselle, and she making millions on top of millions. No matter what, he is still, by taking these pay cuts, he is still allowing for the Patriots to be able to get better on both sides of the ball because of taking pay cuts. So I think, in addition to his play,
nobody really get paid over there.
Right. Because if you start talking about money, ask Randy Moss. You will get shipped out of New England expeditiously. Right.
I never agreed with that move. They should have worked it out with Moss.
Yeah. But they won without him.
Yeah. Oh yeah. They win without anybody.
They win without. Matter of fact, they traded away Collins, the linebacker.
Oh, he was good too.
He was good. He was their best linebacker this season. They traded him off to the Cleveland Browns.
Yeah, Patriots have no loyalty, man.
Yeah, but I believe Bill Belichick will make Tom Brady the exception to the rule.
The one exception.
The one exception. I mean, if Belichick doesn't give Tom Brady the respect that he's due by allowing him to just finish his career in New England, Bill Belichick is an evil man.
So you saying Belichick is gonna let Brady write his own ticket? He's gonna leave on his terms.
He owes it to him, man.
He owes it to a lot of players.
But Tom Brady has been the one constant.
I agree.
The one constant. So I think he just owes it to him. But you never know with Bill Belichick because that man, you can't never understand what he's thinking underneath that score.
Come on, Belichick. Show me you got some kind of heart. This man has won 4 Super Bowls for you. He can write his own ticket. He plays till he decides he wants to leave. And not when you decide, Belichick. If you cut Brady before he's ready to go, I will roast you tremendously.
All right, Red, man. So that's some good football talk. We'll come back to some more football talk. Let's shift gears real quick.
We just love football.
We love football, and especially we got no reason not to love it because our Atlanta Falcons are headed to Houston, baby.
Super Bowl bound.
Super Bowl bound.
Rise up.
But we're going to let you know we're not limited to football. We're going to shift the conversation. We'll come back to who we think is better between Julio Jones and Antonio Brown before we sign off. But we're going to talk a little basketball right here. NBA. Get your thing ready. And we're going to get ready to talk about Red's favorite topic in the NBA. For we know there's been a lot of NBA conversation that's taking place in various areas of the league. And we're going to start off this conversation talking about King James, LeBron James. I'm going to let Red get his rant out real quick before I have to come back and try to clean up what he messed up.
What's that I hear? Do I hear somebody crying for help once again? Who do we have crying for help? Is the trade deadline approaching? Oh, that's right. Trade deadline is approaching. NBA season, and once again, it's time for the annual LeBron James Cry Fest. Yes, I have no help. I'm on the sorriest team in the NBA. Please help me. Lord have mercy. Let me read a list of names to the guys who have played with the Clang James over the years.
Come on, man. Okay? You being disrespectful, man.
Dwayne Wade, Shaquille O'Neal, Chris Bosh, Mo Williams, Ben Wallace, Mike Miller, Birdman, Larry Hughes, Ray Allen, Danielle Marshall, Kevin Love, J.R. Smith, Iman Shumpert, Channing Frye, and the latest from my Atlanta Hawks, Kyle Korver. I mean, Lord have mercy. When is enough enough, man. I mean, every year this guy is fishing for help. That's why I changed his nickname a few weeks ago to the Fisher King, because he is always fishing on
Being
other NBA
disrespectful,
teams. Other NBA teams
Being
looking through all of their all-stars, fishing for somebody to come help him. And Kyle Korver talking about a few weeks ago. Oh, I'm so happy for this opportunity. Oh yeah, you happy for that opportunity, Kyle, to go over there and play with that crybaby, and you're 2-6 since you got there? You happy? You should still be with our Hawks. You should have rejected the trade when they asked you, did you want to go over there? Why do you want to go over there and spend time with a guy who gonna blame everybody and they mama when things go wrong? Never look to himself to blame. Looking to the front office, looking to the owner, looking to the coach, looking to his teammates. He probably looking to blame some teammates on another team he used to play for. LeBron, do me a favor, dog. For once, look in the mirror and blame yourself, okay? You built the team in Cleveland. You built half the team in Miami. And never are you satisfied, man. You like about 3 of my ex-girlfriends, man. Just never satisfied. What do we have to do to make you happy, man? I mean, God. I'm going to stop right there and let Mike retort a little bit. But good Lord, LeBron, I am sick and tired of listening to ESPN and all of these stations talk about how you need some help for your already super team. How can you make a super team better?
Let me say this and make this disclaimer. What Red said was not approved fully.
Not approved
by
fully.
the Red and Rev show. What he just said was not fully approved by the show.
I get carried away sometimes. I hope y'all understand.
So with that being said, let me help my brother out to understand more about LeBron James. One thing that LeBron James is playing for that nobody else in the NBA is playing for is what I call legacy. LeBron is the only one in the NBA who can be said to be one of the greatest or greats of all time. Nobody currently in the NBA other than LeBron is on anybody's all-time great list.
Okay, you mean currently right now?
Currently.
Oh, no way. He is the best.
Nobody right now.
I always said LeBron is the best of the wannabes.
Still hitting on my man. But nobody else currently in the NBA is on anybody's all-time great starting five. All right? There's some folk who believe, like myself, that LeBron has already surpassed as the Larry Bird, Larry Legend, as the greatest small forward of all time.
I give him that. He's definitely passed.
Now you listed up all those names that LeBron has played with. But when we look at
to play with.
Okay, I'll give you that. But let's look at any of his teams in Cleveland and any of his teams in Miami. None of his teams ever had the caliber of players that Larry Bird played with. Larry Bird played with Dennis Johnson, Hall of Famer.
That's one.
Danny Ainge, he wasn't a Hall of Famer, but great basketball mind, great shooter. Kevin McHale,
great
Hall of Famer. Robert Parrish, the Chief, was he Hall of Famer?
Oh yeah, he was
Hall of Famer. So look at the players that Larry Legend played with.
Okay.
Let's look at the players that Magic played with. Since we want to call him Mr. Crybaby, Mr. Whiner, Magic Johnson played with the all-time scorer of all time in NBA, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, a.k.a. Lou Alcindor.
The guy from Airplane.
He played with James, Hall of Famer.
Hall of Famer.
James Worthy.
Hall of Famer.
Hall of Famer. Maurice Lucas toward the end of his career. Norm Nixon. Michael Cooper. Byron Scott. And the list goes on and on. So every great player who has won has played with superstars.
Yep.
Now, LeBron, when he plays the game of basketball in this current basketball, LeBron is like many single women in our age bracket. I'm going to make it live right here, as my dad would say when he preaches. LeBron is like many single women in our age bracket,
Okay.
where they are dating with a purpose. Many single women in our age bracket are no longer trying to date unless they get a ring put on it. Unless they're trying to get married. To get married, right? So LeBron, at this juncture in his career, he's only playing with the primary purpose of getting more rings. If the season doesn't have the potential to get a ring, LeBron's like, why play it? Because once again, he's playing for what no other person in the NBA right now is playing for, and that is legacy. Now, look at LeBron. LeBron is a smart man. LeBron knows he squeaked by the Golden State Warriors in last year's championship. Squeaked by. If Draymond Green
that is true.
does not get suspended,
no way y'all win.
Golden State Warriors are back-to-back champions.
Back-to-back champions.
Hands down.
Not even going 7 games.
Hands down. But they got a little help, called a little wave. Cleveland Cavaliers, NBA champions right now.
And LeBron did his thing.
He did his thing.
He definitely showed up.
Now, LeBron looks at his current roster that struggled to beat last year's Golden State Warriors team. And what does Golden State do?
Now, you counting the Christmas game or you just counting the last game?
I'm talking about last championship.
Yeah, I'll take it. But remember, Cleveland won the Christmas Day game.
No, I'm not even talking about.
Okay, you talking about just last year.
I'm just talking about last year. But I'm saying, look at what Golden State has done now.
Yeah, by signing.
They signed not just an all-star, but they signed arguably one of the top 3 players in the entire NBA to already go along with Steph Curry, to already go along with Klay Thompson, Draymond Green, so forth and so on. So, after Christmas, Cleveland won, but they struggled to win that game. Then on MLK Day, they went out to Golden State and got blasted.
Obliterated.
So now, LeBron, because he plays for rings,
I understand.
playing for legacy,
You better be playing for rings.
he looks at what his team currently has that struggled to win last year's championship. And now he's saying, because I'm playing for legacy, because I'm playing for rings, this team that we're lining up with don't have a chance. And you know what? In order to beat this current Golden State Warriors team. So this is why, even though I admit LeBron went about it the wrong way,
He did.
he should not have put his owner on blast, because his owner has done a lot to try to bring in talent, spent a lot of money, spent more money in luxury tax over any other team in the NBA. But his argument is legitimate, since he's playing NBA basketball with a purpose, and that purpose is to win rings. So if he got to whine, cry, to get more players, to be able to compete, not with 30 other teams in the NBA, but that one team in Oakland, California, it is what it is. He got to do what he has to do. So whine on, LeBron.
Whine on LeBron, and I'm going to clown on LeBron, okay? Because I understand what you're saying. You're right. The team, I guess he's looking at the team presently constructed as is, has no chance.
There's no chance.
Because I know I clowned that move now, but now I'm kind of happy that Durant is over there, because no way that Cleveland will beat that team. Now that team is balling, so
They're stacked.
He's stacked. Didn't want Durant going over there, but now I understand what the Warriors were doing. They made a move saying, well, we got to make sure we beat Cleveland.
We call that a power move.
A power move. And Cleveland, did they make any power moves? Not yet. I really don't know what other power move they could make besides trading Kevin Love and bringing in an asset. And they had well, I know we're going to get into the Melo thing. You want to wait? Okay.
We'll get into
okay.
Melo.
But I understand what my man is saying, but LeBron, yeah, you definitely went about it the wrong way. You probably should have been a little quieter, because when you always going about like how you're the best player in the world, and then you come out to the media and it sounds like you're crying for help, that sounds a little off. So I understand. I know you're trying to win rings. You got a problem with your management and your owner. Keep it in-house, okay? I know you're trying to keep up with Golden State, and you're right. That team you got right now will not be Golden State.
Golden State.
But keep it in-house. Your owners will make a move. Trading deadline coming up. What trading deadline, LeBron, has your team not made a move since I don't know when?
Right.
If they're going to look at your team, your owner and your GM, David Griffin, are looking at your team. Let's see how y'all been playing the past few weeks. They know you need a backup point guard. They know you need a backup big. Be patient. They're going to make the moves because I hope they know right now they can't beat Golden State presently constructed.
They know it. They know it, man.
Be patient, LeBron. You got 3 weeks for the trading deadline. Things gonna work out, but you're still gonna lose from June, so it don't really matter.
At least my man Red has toned it down a little bit on LeBron. So hopefully, I hope I was effective.
I tone it down when somebody present me a legitimate argument. Just don't come with a lot of LeBombardage, Bron sexual stuff that kind of, get me crazy. Because at least just come with a legitimate argument. You know what I'm saying? Don't just be pulling thoughts out well. Okay.
I got you. All right, man. So we know LeBron had front page news, and then also
all week long.
A lot of talk is about Carmelo Anthony. Carmelo Anthony. I think he's a great offensive player, but he's one of the most overrated players of all time.
I thought I was a LeBron hater.
I mean, Melo, I ain't even going to go in. Let's go. Let's talk about Melo. All right, so it's been said that Melo's on the trading block. There was a proposed trade for Melo to Cleveland for Kevin Love, straight up.
Straight up.
Cleveland said, nah,
no thank
we're
you.
not trying to let go of our love for Melo. All right? So now there's a trade supposedly being pitched to the Los Angeles Clippers.
I think this one will happen.
And now the Knicks are saying that in order to trade Melo, they don't have to get back Blake Griffin. And I think from some report I read from the CBA, they couldn't get Blake Griffin anyway. I don't know exactly why, but they couldn't get Blake Griffin. They're not asking for DeAndre Jordan. They're not asking for CP3.
This is going to be pretty much a robbery then.
Right. And then also, now I heard as recent as yesterday, they're looking for a third team to put this trade together.
Exactly. That's the latest I heard.
So, Red, if you are the New York Knicks, what do you do with Carmelo Anthony?
Well, I pretty much do what I'm trying to do now is unload them because they're not going to win with Carmelo. The Carmelo experiment failed 2 seasons ago. He had a chance to be. He was a free agent 2 years ago. I believe he should have left then. I really believe he should have left. My Lakers were interested in him. A few other teams.
Chicago
was definitely.
They sent the house trying to get him. They sent Derrick Rose, Joe Kim Noah. That's when they were still relevant ball players. And it so happened he got him now in New York, but he got the used car version
I think
of Derrick Rose and Joe Kim Noah.
If he was there now with Jimmy Butler, D Wade, and maybe Rose would have stayed, and maybe Noah could have stayed coming off the bench,
right.
I think the Chicago team would be a title contender right now. But you rejected the Lakers, you rejected the Bulls, you re-signed with the Knicks, which I thought was a colossal mistake. And now we're in the situation we got in now where they just basically giving you away for nothing. They don't even care if they send you to a winning team. Luckily, the Clippers, are involved trying to make a trade for you. But I think if any team was involved right now, whether it was a winning team or not, and they had a third team as a partner, they would ship them out.
Yeah, the one thing Carmelo has in his favor is that no trade clause, so he can dictate.
That's right. He does
where he goes.
Why would you give him that?
Exactly, and that's where Phil Jackson messed up because Phil Jackson should have never re-signed him.
No,
but he was afraid of the backlash that would have come in New York City because folk love Carmelo for some strange reason.
But they're not winning.
Carmelo is able to play on the heartstrings of the New York Knickerbockers fans. I can't understand it.
Me neither.
I can't understand what the love fest and love affair is with Carmelo Anthony. He is a great offensive player, but he can't even defend the sorriest player on the other person's team. He is just an offensive ball player. And this is why they're having a hard time trading him because, when you start playing playoff basketball, you got to defend.
And these teams know he's a liability.
And he's a liability on defense.
He's a
one-trick pony, man.
One-dimensional player.
Great outside shot, can create his own shot. He's a ball hog. He's a ball stopper.
Too much ISO.
Too much ISO, and teams know you can't really win like that.
Nope.
So this is why his trade value is not that high. And if Phil Jackson wants to get rid of him, he is not going to get face value for Carmelo Anthony.
No,
so I think he's going to be traded. I think the Knicks are going to get shafted. They'll probably make amends by getting players to come back with expiring contracts.
Maybe.
So those contracts can get off the books, and then they can start fresh, letting, what's his name, the tall, white, talented kid? Porzingis. Porzingis be the star of the show so that they can go to the next level and build around Porzingis.
Now let me ask you this one question. Should they get rid of Phil?
I'm going to answer yes and no. Yes, they should get rid of him because Phil is making too much money as a general manager. He has not commanded a $10 million plus contract as a general manager.
What's up, Daniel? I see you. What's up, Daniel?
He's getting paid like he won those 11 championship rings as a GM. That was as a head coach.
Yeah.
So that means somebody else was shopping for the NBA groceries.
Jerry West and Mitch Kupchak.
Jerry West, Mitch Kupchak, and Jerry, what's the name in Chicago?
Reinsdorf. Jerry Reinsdorf.
Jerry Reinsdorf and so forth and so on. They bought the groceries.
Now, Jerry Krause was the owner, right?
Jerry Krause, but Jerry Reinsdorf, yeah. Krause was one of them.
No, Krause was the owner.
Krause was the owner, and Reinsdorf was the GM.
Because Krause owns the White Sox.
Exactly. So we see that Phil definitely shown himself as a head coach, and somebody can argue, look who he had. He had MJ in Chicago, Kobe in Los Angeles.
But see, to me, though, when you have stars like that, it's even
hard.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. And then to get the different personalities
and
that were surrounded them to make it work.
In both places.
So just the psychology that he brought to the table as a head coach was very impressive. As a former coach myself, you got to be able to motivate players, and in an NBA season, to motivate players for 82-game season plus a 2-3 month playoff, that is a very hard task.
11 times.
And he did it 11 times. So he is definitely a head coach, championship coach, but he is not a championship GM. No. And therefore, I think the Knicks could release him from that contract that they signed. Yeah. But I think, though, he has a plan. The problem is the plan is not with Melo.
No.
It's with Porzingis because he did find Porzingis when nobody else knew about that bad boy. And everybody else clowned him on draft day. So we see that Phil does have an eye for talent.
But how many drafts? That's his only
Appreciate you, Dan.
This is only good draft move out of how many years? Because every other move he don't made there has not worked.
Well, he's only been the GM for how long?
What,
3 years, I think.
Maybe 3.
But I don't think they had a first-round draft pick last year.
Okay.
So from what now we can say,
so you say stick with him maybe a couple more years.
Stick with him 1 or 2 more years.
Okay.
I think he can't really build a team until he gets rid of Melo.
I agree.
Because
they're not gonna win.
They're not gonna win with Melo. So Melo got to go.
Yeah, he is desperate to get him out of there.
And one of Melo's problems is he's thinking about off the court, which is his wife, who's an actress.
She's getting better though.
Yeah, she did an excellent job in New Edition. She did an excellent job in the New Edition movie.
We're gonna talk about that too.
Yeah, we're gonna give a few seconds of that. But he's thinking about her career in addition to his career, which is making it difficult for him to be traded. So if he's really focusing on his wife's career, then there are really only 3 places that he could go to. And one of them he's not going to go to because they don't want him. And he probably let him want to come, and that's Atlanta.
Okay, I'm about to say, did you add Atlanta to
Atlanta.
We the movie place now.
Atlanta,
I wasn't sure.
We're just as big as Hollywood now in ATL.
Now, why won't he come to Atlanta?
Well, Budenholzer don't want him because they don't play no defense. And then they play a motion offense.
Okay, do the fans? You think the fans won't want him either?
I don't think we want a broke down version.
Nah, you're right.
If we talking about the Melo, maybe Denver Nugget Melo or early New York Knicks Melo, then we'll take. But this Melo, we already got the used car version of Dwight Howard. I mean, we don't need another used car version of another NBA superstar.
One used car.
One used car is all we need. We need some Bentleys to come up in here.
That'll be the day.
Yeah. We got to get some real.
Got a few BMWs out there.
Yeah, but we don't need a broke down Melo. So Melo either is going to go to L.A.
I agree
with the Clippers. He's definitely not going to Lakers.
Nah.
Because that would be a waste of time. Because they are not anywhere near competing for a championship, even though I think Luke Walton is going to take them to another level.
I hope so. They're a nightmare to watch every night. they let me down. I mean,
Well,
thank God for my Falcons.
Yeah, they don't have a superstar, man, so they can't help it. But
they got a few budding superstars.
They got a budding superstar. They're real young.
Yeah, they were young.
You know,
young,
real
inexperienced, and Kobe did. How do we talk about the Lakers? But Kobe did set us back last year.
He set y'all back for the past 4 years.
We need to be patient, let Luke finish this year out, and hopefully next year. Lord,
the Black Mamba was the black misery of Los Angeles Lakers. His contract that he was getting the contract he got was a lifetime achievement award because for the past 3 or 4 years, Kobe ain't been worth no $30+ million a year. The Lakers, the Lakers deserve to be where they are right now, giving Kobe Bryant that lifetime achievement check that he did not deserve. Kobe has been the broke down version of the Black Mamba for 4 or 5 years. I'm gonna get off that, man, because I need prayer because I got issues with Kobe. He broke a man rule. And I know we're supposed to forgive, but I need y'all to pray my forgiveness for Kobe because I still haven't forgiven him for how he showed himself to be a chump on how he called out Shaq when he got caught for his infidelity. But that's another story for another day.
And make no mind, I'm the number 1 Kobe fan, but I do agree with this man and every other man in America that have a problem with what Kobe did. I'm Kobe's number 1 fan on the court, not off the court, okay? Off the court, I agree with everything y'all say about the man. On the court, he's my dog. And we ain't crap because he tore his Achilles because we had Dwight Howard there and he shouldn't have been. Should have been down here with my Hawks then, not out there in L.A. But Kobe tore his Achilles and it was over with then. And ever since then, me and my Lakers, we just been treading downward. But we going to be back next year, okay? We ain't going to spend too much time there. We on our way back, man. We got to move more time. But my Lakers going to be back next year, I promise you, man. After we get another top 3 draft pick.
So, okay. Again, we're going back to Melo. Please excuse us for getting sidetracked. But sometimes we just get something in us. We got to let it out, all right? But going back to Melo, I think he only has 2 options. Either gets traded to the Clippers or he remains in New York.
He ain't staying there, so he'll be at the Clippers. I say he'll be in the Clippers in about a week and a half. What you say you?
Yeah.
After the Super Bowl, the next big story is going to be Melo to the Clippers.
You're right. Red's dislike for LeBron is my dislike for Kobe.
I was about to say, because my dislike, somebody was like, they hate Kobe over here, one. Do I sound like I hate LeBron like he hate Kobe? Yeah. What? Did Kobe steal his lunch money? Did Kobe go to Maze, man?
No.
I'm gonna ask Coach Otis. You remember Kobe on the basketball team? But boy, it was like him and Mike had some beef out there.
Yeah. But I agree with somebody. You're right. Melo should have gone to the Bulls 2 years ago when he had a chance. And Chicago might be making some noise.
I see you, Daniel, trying to be a guest star on the show.
Yeah. I completely agree with that. All right, so here, Red, we've been on for over an hour, man. We could talk all day long, man, because we just got.
It's been an hour already?
Man, it's been over an hour, man. We got that chemistry.
We got 2 more topics.
So let's go through them real quick. All right, let's go through NBA All-Star Reserve, and then we got Julio, Antonio, and then new addition. Then we calling it a week. And then you'll come back next week for the Super Bowl edition.
Super Bowl special, baby.
Of the Red and Rev show, live and in living color on Facebook Live. Rise up. So here we go. 3 quick topics.
Okay.
All right. NBA All-Star Reserves. The East. The coaches voting in Isaiah Thomas, John Wall, Kevin Love, Kyle Lowry, Paul George, Kemba Walker, Paul Millsap. With the West, they voted in Russell Westbrook, Klay Thompson, Draymond Green, DeMarcus Cousins, Marc Gasol, DeAndre Jordan, and Gordon Hayward. Nobody's really had issues with the West because Gordon Hayward making his first appearance. He's a bad boy in Utah. He's going to be a free agent. That's somebody I wish my Hawks would try to go after. But all of the controversy has been in the East. And some folk are upset, and I know I got some friends in Philadelphia who are upset that trust the process, Joel Embiid, was left off the NBA All-Star team?
I'm upset about that one.
State your case why you're upset, Red.
Number one, the guy is pretty much the rookie of the year, right? Pretty much. I think he's the best big man in the East. No big man in the East has the offensive game that Joel Embiid has. Nobody has better footwork. Nobody can protect the rim. The guy is offense and defense, both sides of the court. Inside game, outside game. Joel Embiid is the man, and I definitely understand why the Sixers kept him on the bench for 2 years. How he didn't make the All-Star game this year as a starter, okay, I give you that. But as a reserve, the coaches, the players, and who are the fans, a percentage, didn't
Well,
vote
no,
him.
it's just the coaches with the reserve.
Oh, okay, just the coaches with the reserve. Well, you coaches in the East, I see why y'all losing then.
So, okay, now you make that claim. So who does it replace? I'll give those names again. Isaiah Thomas, John Wall, Kevin Love, Kyle Lowry, Paul George, Kemba Walker, or Paul Millsap. Who does he replace?
Oh, Hawks fans, forgive me, but I'm taking Millsap off that team and putting Joel Embiid, man. I got to put the most exciting player on the list.
Now, here's the thing. Here's the thing. And that's where a lot of the NBA pundits have talked about how you take Paul Millsap off the team to make room for Joel Embiid. I disagree with that.
Okay.
I disagree with it from two perspectives. One, the East already has too many guards on the team.
We got Isaiah.
In addition to Kyrie, who's starting,
Okay.
you got, as reserves, Isaiah Thomas, he deserves to be there. John Wall, he deserves to be there.
Definitely got to add him too.
All right, then you put Kyle Lowry. You can make a strong argument about him. And then Kemba Walker. You can make a strong argument about him. But here's the problem I have. For the past 2 or 3 years, when they've made the West selections, they always cut the West guards or point guards at 3. They would, of course, Steph Curry would be there.
Got me.
Then Russell Westbrook would be a reserve. Then CP3 would be a reserve. And they would leave off Damian Lillard. And there are a couple of years where Damian Lillard deserved to be on the All-Star team. So I don't understand why this year on the East side, they were elect to have almost 5 point guards. Or they not almost, they have 5 point guards.
And don't do it in the West.
And don't have enough forwards. You only have Paul George, Kevin Love, and Matt Millsap. One of those guards got to go, and I would say it's probably Kemba Walker.
Kemba Walker. Okay.
Kemba Walker got to go. Look, Kemba Walker's team is in 7th place. It's hard for me to say take Paul Millsap off the team, even though he's a solid player. He's not really the kind of player you want to see during the All-Star game.
That's the reason.
I mean, he's not entertaining. He's there if you run a motion offense, but they having fun. They entertaining.
Yeah, kind of boring.
He's kind of boring, but his
Love you, just boring.
But his stats allow for him to be on the team. First of all, the Hawks are number 4 in the East. So it's hard to say you're going to put the top players and not get one of the top players on one of the top teams a spot on the NBA All-Star team. He's averaging 18 points, 18 points, 8 rebounds, and 4 assists. Line it up with Kevin Love, 20, 11, and 2. Embiid, 28 and 2. So Millsap is right there with him.
Yeah.
As the top dog for the Atlanta Hawks.
And then his team got a better
And
record.
his team got a better record. Embiid has definitely changed the culture in Philadelphia. I hope at some point I can either fly down to Philadelphia and see Embiid play. I tried to go see him play last week, but he was on the injured list. And that's part of the knock with Embiid. And that's why some coaches didn't vote him on, because Love played 40 games. Millsap played 44 games. Embiid only played 31 games.
Got to stay healthy, baby. That
So
counts.
this may be the reason why Embiid did not make the All-Star team. But rest assured, if Embiid can stay healthy, he will be on a lot of NBA All-Star teams in the years to come.
I believe.
And Philadelphia will be coming in the next few years. What somebody say?
I agree with you, Blake.
Come on, man. Paul George is an all-star, man. Come on now. Come on, man. Paul George is the real deal.
Oh, he said. Oh, you talking about? You mean Paul or Paul? You mean Paul Millsap or Paul George?
Oh, you talking about Paul Millsap?
Yeah.
Is okay, but no. Are you talking about Paul Millsap or Paul George?
I think you mean Paul Millsap.
Come on, man. Paul Millsap is a perennial all-star since he's been in Atlanta for the past 3 years. Come on, man.
Who would you want to see? Joe, if I'm asking you, Joel or Paul?
Well, of course, I want to see Joel, but but the conversation is not who do we want to see, who's deserving.
That's correct.
Paul Millsap is deserving. 18 points, 8 rebounds, and 4 assists.
He's a consistent player.
Come on, man. You know,
probably the most consistent player the Hawks got.
The Hawks have had since probably Dominique.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
Let you know we don't have some inconsistency and some mediocrity in the Hawks.
You got to put him on the squad. All right, so you know that's a nice little discussion. But Joel Embiid, your day is coming. You will be an NBA All-Star.
I think I may put you on my team on NBA Live.
All right, let's switch gears right back to football. We got one quick conversation. Then we're gonna talk. I want to see the process too. I agree, but he got to stay healthy. He got to play more games.
Why does the process take 2 years though? Can we come up with a quicker process?
Actually, 3 years.
3? God.
But that's why he's called the process.
Yes, they very patient in Philly. I don't think I could be that patient in Atlanta. If we picked the guy number 1 and it's 3 years before he played, you know how we are down here. Well, we be calling that guy a bust. Supposed to be saying fire the GM and everything. I'm gonna give you an example. Remember when we was gonna take Jadeveon Clowney number 1? They were gonna talk about trading up to get him. And how long has it been? It's just been 3 years.
3 years before he finally made his.
Dimitrov would have gotten fired.
Yep.
Arthur Blank would have fired Dimitrov.
Yep, over that pick. So you know the good thing about the Sixers, they were garbage anyway. And the GM before the current GM, he was trying to tank anyway, trying to load up picks. So we know.
Funny, Daniel.
Yeah.
Our process is 3 years and counting. Hey, but I promise you, Dim Bus won't be around to see the process come to fruition because the sister already said he out there after this year. He gonna try to beg and plead and say, come on, man, these young guys on the team, they balling, just give them a chance. No, we're not giving them a chance. You are done, Dim Bus. You have ruined my Lakers, man. We can't even play defense, man. I hate watching my Lakers defense play. Somebody get the ball, just go right through the hole and score. This is embarrassing.
FYI, Red is a fan of the Lakers like he's a fan of the Falcons.
I told you, I am diehard Lakers fan. Lakers, Falcons, Braves, and Bulldogs. Hawks, little capital letters. I like them.
Yeah, so Red has been in need of a lot of prayer over the past 4.
We're going to be like, no, Lakers going to be guaranteed playoffs for sure next year, Daniel. I'm guaranteeing the Lakers make the playoffs next year. But then I think I said that last year.
That might need to be another recorded miracle in the Bible if the Lakers make the playoffs next week. They ain't
How did we fall so far?
They ain't making no playoffs next week. But let's go, man. We got 2 quick topics.
This is embarrassing.
Then we got to get off here. And we want to thank again all the folk who are tuning in. I want to thank you all for tuning in to the second episode or second show of the Red and Rev Show. We truly appreciate it. If you've been enjoying our show, please share this broadcast with other people.
Appreciate all
Share it
the
on
love.
Facebook. Also, tell other folk if you're really enjoying the Red and Rev Show. We got 2 quick topics, and then we're out of here.
Enjoy the process, y'all. We just started.
We just started.
Our process.
Exactly. Here we go. Football. Wide receivers.
Yes.
People call that the diva position.
It is for most.
For most wide receivers. Who you taking, Red? And we're going to give the Pittsburgh Steelers some love, even though they had a tough going in New England last week, like I predicted. I think Red's hate for the New England Patriots caused him to pick the Steelers over the Patriots, even though they're playing in Foxborough. I had to let cooler heads prevail. I
thought Pittsburgh was sure.
I knew
give them a little game.
Unless the Steelers were rolling in the steel curtain and not the shower curtain. I gotta give Michael Lemon credit for that statement. He called it the Steelers looked more like the shower curtain last week than the steel curtain. But I just knew the task going up to New England was just going to be too tough for them to win. But anyway, we know they have Mr. Facebook Live himself as their top wide receiver, Antonio Brown. So this is what we want to discuss real quick. Who are you taking? Do you take for wide receiver Antonio Brown or Julio Jones?
Well, Mike, I tell you, up until 3 weeks ago, before Antonio became a little Facebook star, this would have been a very difficult question to answer. Because when you look at the numbers, you got Antonio Brown, 5 years in the league, 8,300 yards. Julio been in the league, 4 seasons, because one of them he was out for the season.
Well, he's been in the league since 2011.
Okay, and Antonio been in the league since 2010.
Right.
So he has a year on Julio. Antonio has about 8,300 yards. Julio has close to 8,000, about 7,700 yards. The numbers are comparable. The production is comparable. So now we get down to, who do I trust? Who do I want more around my team? I'm taking Julio Jones, baby. And this is not a homer pick. Julio is the most humble, the most physical, the most demanding, the most worried about, the best wide receiver in the NFL. And I told y'all on my page, it ain't even close, baby. Antonio's antics, Odell's antics, Dez Bryant's antics. Who do you want? You want to put up with them, or you want to put up with my guy, Julio Jones? He going to give you the same production they going to give you. And guess what? He ain't going to give you the headaches. He ain't going to give you the drama. It's going to be low-key. It's going to be a fishing trip, baby. Because that's what Julio like to do. He like to catch footballs and go fishing.
And go fishing. And I got to agree with Red. Now, I'm going to say one thing that I do believe Antonio has over Julio. And that is, he's available more than Julio. He plays more snaps than Julio. He's played more games than Julio. But where Julio trumps Brown is in yards production. All right, I'm a stat man, got to go to the stats. Now, Antonio Brown in 91 games has 8,210 yards, 616 receptions, 50 TDs. And this is a stat in comparison with Julio to when Julio entered the league. Because Julio came in the year after Antonio Brown. And Antonio Brown did not have a stellar rookie season, so that doesn't even really matter at this juncture. But Julio, 79 games.
Ooh, he had an awful rookie season.
497 receptions, 7,610 yards. So if you look at the 12-game difference, Julio's stats are comparable to what Antonio has done. And if we look at just the stats for this year, Antonio Brown, 15 games, 106 receptions, 1,284 yards, 12 TDs. Very impressive. While Julio in 14 games had 83 receptions, but more yards than Antonio Brown. 14 and 9 yards, 1,409 yards and 6 TDs. So Julio is right there. Now here's where the difference lies for me. Yeah, Antonio has more durability. But here's where the difference lies. It comes to physical features. Julio, 6'3", 220 pounds.
Arguably 6'4".
Arguably 6'4". Antonio Brown, 5'10", 186 yards. Give me the man over 6 feet any day.
Any day.
Any day.
I have never liked receivers under 6
Under 6 feet.
I never have, because now I do get receivers props that's out there making plays, the Deshaun Jacksons, the Steve Smiths, the Antonio Browns, the Odell Beckhams. But when I think of a big play, if I'm in a draft looking for a big playmaker, I'm looking 6'3", 6'4", 6'5". I want that mismatch. I want that physicality, you know?
And that's what Julio brings to the table with that kind of build. You can't jam him.
Nope.
On the line like you would jam an Antonio Brown. And here's the thing that may shock some people. Mm-hmm. Typically, when we think about wide receivers, we would think the shorter or the lighter, the faster.
Yeah.
If you look at their 40 times, Julio at 6'3", 220, his 40 time is faster than Antonio Brown's time.
A 4.3 at his size.
Julio is 4.39 and Antonio Brown's is 4.47.
You got some cornerbacks that don't run a 4.3. You got some running backs who don't run a 4.3. What was Dion's time? Pretty close.
Pretty close. So just off physical features alone, speed and production, give me Julio any day, any week, any game, and definitely in the Super Bowl once again with less drama.
Antonio Brown played in one Super Bowl, caught one catch for 1 yard. Do you honestly think that's going to be Julio's stat line after next Sunday?
And then I like what somebody else, shout out to Robert Lofton, class of 95, Mays High School. I don't know if his foot was broken, but it was definitely, he was on a bad wheel.
Robert, you went to Mays, dog?
Oh, man. Class of 95, ROTC.
Yeah, buddy, you work with me.
Class
and you
of
went to my
95.
I see why you be talking junk to me, Robert. Okay.
Yeah. Now I got to go back to my Morehouse brother, Blake. You right. He does. Julio does limp off the field too much.
I see you, Willie.
Yeah.
Julio.
Yeah, but what he does on the field throughout a game definitely gets the job done.
Limp off the field, does he come back?
Yeah, he comes back.
And is he back next week?
And see, look, even with a limp in his foot, like I went and saw the New Orleans game. Matter of fact, I got the stats right here. Let me. When I went to the New Orleans game at New Orleans, that's a great game to go to. If you're a true Falcons fan, if you can ever get to New Orleans for that Falcons Saints game, that is a great game to go to, and it just made my heart proud.
Oh, you went down there this past.
Oh my goodness, shouting out when the Saints go marching out the dome. The Falcons blasted them, but at that game showed me.
Somebody was excited.
Showed me that game. Antonio Freeman was the leading receiver in yards. Devontae Freeman. Thank you. I'm thinking about doggone one play for the Packers. Devontae Freeman, that dude that's gonna give the Patriots nightmares, their linebackers nightmares, and Bill Belichick nightmares, trying to game plan against them. But Devontae Freeman had 55 yards. Julio only had 2 catches that game. And they still beat the Stanks, a.k.a. the Aints, 45-32. So here's the thing about Julio. Just his presence on the field changes the game.
Changes the game.
Julio doesn't even have to catch a pass.
Nope.
Score a touchdown in order to be a game changer. Do you think Taylor Gabriel would be having the season he had if Julio wasn't on the field?
I don't think any of those
Do you think Devontae Freeman and Coleman would have the seasons they are having if people did not have to account for Julio on the field? So just Julio's presence alone is why I pick him over Antonio Brown, even though Antonio Brown is a great receiver. He just needs to cut down on the antics.
Good point, partner. You're right. And I know, I want to make sure I get this out there. I know exactly. Seattle had 3 people covering Julio.
Still
3. Look, if Julio is a decoy, he is going to take away, if we got 2 or 3 people checking one guy, that's going to open it up. That means you only got 6 or 7 more other guys to worry about everybody else. That's not enough. That's not enough to stop us. You can't have 3 guys focused on one guy and expect to stop this top 10 offense of all time. And I know Belichick, I know what he's doing. He ended up trying to stop Julio. He's going to try to stop Freeman, and he's going to try to stop Coleman. Well, guess what? 4 or 5 other guys, Belichick, you got to worry about. And don't think we won't hit that tight end. Don't think Matt Ryan won't go to that tight end all the way down the field, because he will.
Don't think he won't hit Sanu. Don't think he won't hit one of those tight ends like you just said. Don't think, what's those other receivers' names?
Gabriel. Aldrick. Hardy.
Robinson. Come on, man. They just got too many weapons. But we'll save that conversation for next week. So
I'm so excited.
So excited. It's going to be all the way live in the ATL this coming week.
This ain't like it was 98, man. This is so much different. We got social media. It's just like it was a different America back in 98 when we went to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, it's going to be all the way live. So here's this last topic. It's not sports related. We're going to try to give you a different flavor, different feel. Many of you all tuned in to the BET special of the New Edition story.
Oh!
Mr. Telephone Man.
Mr. Telephone. I heard that
Can
song.
You Stand the Rain?
I ain't heard them songs so much this week.
Man, I went to bed night one thinking about Candy Girl.
You all my world.
Yeah, man.
Candy Girl.
Oh man, I woke up with Candy Girl in my mind. But what we're gonna do real quickly, because we got to get out of here. We thank you all for staying with us for this long, because we've been on here for a minute. But we know we're gonna stick to television biopics.
Okay.
Television, not movies. We know the three main ones was the Jackson story,
I remember that one.
the Temptation story,
I remember that one.
and New Edition.
I just saw that one.
So, if we were to rank those
Okay.
in order,
Okay.
from 1 being the best to 3, Red, what's your order?
All right. Being that I just saw the New Edition, and don't get me wrong, I really like this. Surprisingly, bit of being on BET, I really like this. I enjoyed it. The production values were top notch. The casting and the actors they chose, pretty good. The Jackson will have to be number 1. I love the Jackson, the American Dream. That'll always be one of my favorite miniseries of all time. And maybe I'm a little biased to it, Angela Bassett. Maybe I'm a little biased to the Jackson stories and their songs, but Jackson's The American Dream, number 1. New Edition, the story on BET, number 2. And I like Temptation, but I ain't never really been no huge Temptations fan. But that NBC miniseries they did about, I want to say 10 years ago.
12 years ago, man.
Very top notch, very high quality. I like that one too. I'm going to go with that one, number 3. Jackson's New Edition, The Temptations, top 3. I love them all, and I like them all.
Wow. Shout out to Kenneth Gray. Thanks so much for the love. The 5 Heartbeats was a movie, so that's why they're not in our conversation.
And not even a real group.
Yeah. That was a fictitious story. All right, it's just like Dreamgirls. All right, but great movie though. Every time the 5 Heartbeats comes on television, I stop. I've seen that movie 15 times.
Nights like this, I wish
that raindrops would fall.
Let it rain, let it rain.
Yeah, that's a great movie, but it's not. It wasn't a TV miniseries. Thank you so much for speaking life into our future. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Speaking into fruition. We truly appreciate the love. Now, Red gave you his top 3. I'm gonna reverse his 1 and his 3.
Oh,
I agree with his 2. He said the Jackson story, American Dream. Reason it's a great story, great information. We learned the adversity that they came through. We understand why Mike probably had the emotional issues
Lord, did we?
that he had. We had no idea that Joe Jackson, the crazy man, did what he did. But on the other hand,
Ike Turner was
he did discover their talent now.
He did.
So we got to give him some
credit.
Got to give him some credit. So the reason why I can't give Jackson's story, American Dream, number 1, because really after they moved from the childhood age, it's really the Joe Jackson and Michael Jackson story.
Hey, you lie. To me, that was the whole story.
I mean, so really, if it had been the Michael Jackson story, American Dream, then I could put them number 1. But after, because Tito didn't have no talent, I mean, come on. I mean,
they gave to refrigerator talent.
Yeah, I mean, they gave Jermaine a little love when he married Berry Gordy's daughter. Yeah. But outside of Jermaine Jackson,
even had a Dynamite video in there.
Right. I mean, come on, man. So it was really
Dynamite.
It was really the Michael Jackson, Joe Jackson story. So that's why I can't put them number 1, even though it was a great miniseries.
Those 2 are the most interesting.
Those are the 2 most interesting characters.
Yeah.
But since it's supposed to be the Jackson,
true,
which started off with the Jackson 5 and ultimately became Marlon came in after Jermaine left the group.
You mean Randy?
Randy came in. Thank you. Marlon was in the original.
I ain't gonna lie, Joe had a little game courting little Katie back in the day. I like that part of the story too.
Yeah. I mean, it was great storytelling in the beginning in Gary, Indiana, and going to L.A.
Got him out the hood.
That was the one thing that was very interesting in comparison to the New Edition story. because it just showed, even though Joe Jackson was not America top father, because he was involved in his son's lives, allowed for them to get out of the ghetto a lot sooner than New Edition, where we didn't see really a fatherly presence at all in that movie.
Well, maybe not top emotional father. I mean, he was their dad now. He took, like I say,
he for business purposes, he was
business
great.
purposes,
Not emotional purposes.
Yeah, not emotional, not loving now.
I ain't gonna be praying, Lord, let Joe Jackson be my father.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm gonna be real about it.
You're right. But I agree with that. But business-wise, taking care of the family,
he was on top of it.
Yeah, he was on top of that now.
And he led them to get out of Gary, Indiana,
exactly.
which is not the nicest place to live, to get to L.A. So
you got everything else, emotional, all other father stuff, forget it.
Yeah.
Joe gonna crack a beer. He ain't doing none of that stuff. But forget that.
Joe ain't patting you on the back.
No way.
Joe might slam you on your back, but he ain't hitting you. He ain't patting you on the back.
That's when you recorded a top #1 single.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So I can't put the Jackson story #1. I can't do number 3 because again, it's just really the Joe Jackson, Michael Jackson story after you get past the first hour or two.
You're right.
I got to put the Temptations #1, man.
It was a good
one. #1, quality. The music is still relevant. Plus, it gave a great picture of all of the Temptations.
I agree. It was a lot I didn't know. You learned about all 5.
You learned about all 5 of them. Because it was on NBC, they gave a little bit more attention to telling the entire story. BET, because they had so many commercials, I'm sure they had to cut some stuff out. Though the production for BET purposes was 5-star. But because Temptations were on NBC, was on NBC, it allowed for them to tell the story in a lot deeper fashion, and it gave more attention to the characters. So this is why I have to give Temptations #1, New Edition #2, and the Jackson story #3.
It's things that I didn't know about Temptations that I still know to this day just from watching.
Just from that story, man. It was a great story, But it's been real. Hopefully, y'all have enjoyed the second show of the Red and Rev show. We have been glad to be able to give y'all this show. We've enjoyed you all. Thank you all so much for tuning in. Thank you all so much for your comments. And we hope that you will help us grow this show as we grow. We know that we can't only grow but without you all's help. So thank you all so much.
We appreciate all the love from our Maze High family, all the love from my UPS family, who happen to be some of my Maze High family too.
Morehouse family. Yeah, the
West
church
Georgia
family, you know, all the folk.
All my Facebook friends, all my Facebook rivals who attending in, appreciate it.
Thank y'all so much. Tune in next week.
Let me give one shout out.
Give one shout out.
Let me give one shout out to my boy Roderick Dunn. I know you was in the hospital this week. I hope you to get well, brother. I want you at home to watch our Falcons do this Super Bowl thing. Get well, Rod. Red is praying for you, and I got you in my heart, brother. Get well, Roger.
And that's a good shout out, Red. And also, we know that there are many people on Facebook who go through various problems. There have been various people who have experienced losses. Matter of fact, one person who tuned into our show last week, she lost her grandfather this week, Maze House on Raven Forsyth. So, Raven, we're praying for you. I think you funeralized your father on today at West Hunter Baptist Church. So we send love to you,
keeping you in our heart,
Raven, and all other persons out there who are experiencing losses or have family members in some deep situations like my own father. He's battling leukemia. Know that our thoughts and prayers are with you. And as we pray for you all, pray for this show, because we don't plan to be on Facebook Live for the rest of our days, because I think we have a quality product where a lot of people would be blessed and entertained by what we bring to the table. So as you all continue to pray for us, we'll pray for you. And until next week, peace and love, and rise up.
Enjoy the process.
Enjoy the process.
Enjoy our process. Rise up.
Peace.
Go Falcons.